Welcome back. Let us now start with the mean value theorem, that is second part. We have already dealt with Rolle's theorem. Now this is also a mean value theorem linked directly or indirectly with Rolle's theorem. We'll see how it is. The statement for it says that if you have a real valued function, that is as in Rolle's theorem, if you remember, that is function is defined from the closed interval a to b up to, that is the range being real number. So same we say here कि if function is, if f is real valued function, same thing, it is a real valued function, okay, such that condition number 1, it must be differentiable in the closed interval. You remember, we can write this as function from the domain closed interval a to b up to real value. That is, this in short can be written as function from the domain a to b going up to real numbers. Okay, so this is here. So as per the Rolle's theorem, the same condition first and second remain same. That is, the function is continuous on the closed interval a b. That is, function is continuous on so called as closed interval of a and b. Okay. Now the second condition says that function is differentiable. It is differentiable on open interval of a and b. Let us recollect once again what we said. It must be so called as continuous on the closed interval ab. That means a and b are included. It must be differentiable on the open interval of a and b. That means a and b are not included. Agreed? We have discussed in detail why it is not at the end point. The first thing is that at the end point, when we say differentiability, it means that apart from smooth curve, you have a unique tangent at every point. But at the end points, since we do not know how the curve is going to proceed further, so we are not very sure whether the unique tangent will exist there or not. There are infinite tangents. So that is why leaving end points, it must be differentiable on open interval of a and b. Here I will add one point over here actually, which is not in the definition part, but it is only for us to remember that function of a must not be equal to function of b. Right? I am taking this point, it is not in the part of statement or in the definition. I am just taking it only to make sure that I am not using Rolle's theorem, because in Rolle's theorem the third condition is function of a is equal to function of b. So if I use it here again, so it will obviously mean that it is nothing but a Rolle's theorem. So there says that if all these conditions are there, then there exist, that is this symbol, there exists at least one x, that is there exists at least one x such that one x means at least one point c, such that x is actually c, which belongs to the open interval of a and b. There exists at least one point x, or so called as x1 you say here, which is nothing but your c, such that this c belongs to open interval of a and b. And the most important thing is, and your f dash c is equal to f dash b minus, sorry, not f dash b, f of b minus f of a upon b minus a, right? This is your LMVT, Lagrange's mean value theorem. So let us go to recapitulation of it once again. It says कि function is defined from closed interval a to b up to real number. The condition number 1 is कि function must be continuous on the closed interval a and b, differentiable on the open interval a and b, that means endpoints are not included. Third thing which I told is not in the part of definition, that is I will take care that function of a value is not equal to function of b, because if it is equal it will directly turn out to be Rolle's theorem. Then there exists at least one c which belongs to open interval of, remember it belongs to open interval of a and b, such that f dash c is equal to function of b minus function of a upon b minus a. Let us understand it geometrically, right? That is by geometrical interpretation. I will draw a figure over here. Now, this is the curve which I have drawn of y is equal to function of x. Now, suppose this particular point which is there is your x is equal to a, right? This is your x is equal to a and this is your x is equal to b. Now, obviously it is very clear that both the points are having y coordinate and x coordinate both different. So here this is your so-called as a and this is your b. So obviously this particular point which is here becomes your f of a, and this over here, which I am not joining it but you can understand it, it is function of b. Rather to say okay, this is your AFA and this is your AFB, that is BFB. So I am writing this one over here, BFB. Okay, and here actually I don't have space, but then 12, right? That is AFA. Okay, so this is there. Now actually, if I join these 2 points, let me name them also. Let me call them this as A and this B. So if I join this point AB, so I get a chord, agreed, I get a chord, right? So I have coordinates of point A to be as A comma FA and coordinates of B to be as B comma FB. So obviously these 2 points are known. I will just find slope of chord AB. So slope of chord AB will be obviously y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, right? So this I got. So what does this mean? So it means that every line which is parallel to chord AB will have same slope. Agreed? So here if you see, this is the tangent to this particular curve at a particular point, that is it is a tangent at this particular point C. So I get a tangent at point C, right? This is a tangent to the curve y is equal to function of x. So I will say here कि tangent to curve y is equal to function of x at some point x is equal to c is parallel to so called as your chord AB. Okay, now if it is parallel to chord AB, that means slope of tangent at x is equal to c is equal to slope of chord AB. Agreed? Now slope of tangent to a curve at a point is nothing but derivative at that particular point. So this will obviously be f dash c is equal to your slope of chord is function of b minus function of a upon b minus a. So in short, it is nothing but Rolle's theorem only. Only in Rolle's theorem what used to happen is that this is your tangent right now like this. So it was like this, right? That means parallel to x-axis. That is why f dash c was 0. But here f dash c is not 0 because the value of f of b and f of a both will be different and b and a also will be different. If you get b and a same, then obviously this will become 0, right? So obviously it will become 0. So it is nothing but Rolle's theorem only, but applicable in both the sense, right? So we have understood one thing, कि I must see whether the function is continuous in the closed interval. If it is, then I should check whether it is differentiable in the open interval. If it is, then function of a and function of b is not so important, that we can check because we require the values anyway. You will require f of b minus f of a, so it is no problem. So function of b and function of a must not have same value, right? And here obviously you will get one point c, at least one point c, such that f dash c will be equal to f of b minus f of a upon b minus a. Now let us solve at least some questions to understand it in better manner. Now let us verify LMVT. The function of x is defined as log x and the domain which is given is 1 to e, that is 1 and e both included. The condition number 1 says, according to the statement, if you see it on the left side, you will say कि function must be continuous on the closed interval 1 to e. Now actually you know that log function is a smooth curve, so it is already continuous, you can write directly. But if you want to check it, then what is the condition for continuity? That is, function of x will be continuous at a particular point if and only if the limit, left hand limit exists, right hand limit exists, and limiting value at that particular point also must be same. That is, left hand limit must be equal to right hand limit, must be equal to the function of that particular point. Okay, so here it means that the limit of x tending to a must be equal to function of a, right? So here what I do is, if I take here limit of x tending to, what it says, it must be continuous at 1 to e, right? That means it must be continuous at 1 also and at e also, no issue. But I will check at any point between also, there is no problem. You can check at 1 also and at e also. So limit of x tending to function of x must be equal to function of a. So limit of x tending to what I should take between 1 and e is 2.718. So I will take here probably 2. So limit of x tending to 2 function of x will be obviously your limit of x tending to 2, that is log of x, which is nothing but log 2. Log 2 value to 0.3010, not required, will not put here. And what will be the value of function of 2? Function of 2 is also obviously log 2. That means what I get here, the limit of x tending to 2 function of x is equal to function at 2. That means I can say here the function is continuous everywhere on 1 to e. You can even check it for 1 also and at e also. Okay, this is the way actually we do check the continuity. But since we know already these functions very well, कि logarithmic function is there, it is continuous on all its, that is leaving its restriction, it is continuous everywhere. Okay, so it is continuous, so it is a smooth curve, so there is no problem. Now differentiability also will check. Now f dash x if you do, so f dash x will be your 1 by x, right? Now 1 by x will not be defined only for, that is, I can say derivative is not possible or function is not differentiable only at one point, and that is x is equal to 0. So I can say function of x is not differentiable at x is equal to 0. But the domain itself is given from 1 to e, that means 0 is not included in that. So derivative of x is equal to 1 by x is differentiable. It is differentiable on all open interval of 1 to e, right? It is differentiable on the open interval 1 to e. Now what I am doing is, I will just find value of f of a and f of b. Now here function of a is equal to function of 1, that is nothing but log 1, and log 1 is 0. Now f of b I will take, f of b is equal to f of e, that is equal to log e, that is equal to 1. So I will find and keep what is f of b minus f of a. So f of b minus f of a is 1 minus 0, that is equal to 1. Okay, and obviously b minus a also will be your 1, that is b is your b minus a, that is e minus 1. So you get here your b minus a is your e minus 1. Okay, so here what I get here, ki f dash c which is there, so now c must belong to, now f dash c I am taking, f dash c by definition is f of b minus f of a upon b minus a. Now f of b minus f of a I found out, that is equal to 1, and b minus a is e minus 1, right? So e minus 1, which is nothing but so called as the value, this is 2.718, that means some value between 2 and 3 minus 1. So obviously the value will become between 1 and 2, right? So obviously the value which is there is greater than 1, right? The value which is there is greater than 1. Okay, so this value which is there, what you get exactly is, precisely to say, it is 1.718. Now f dash c which is there, so here f dash x is equal to 1 by x, so f dash c will be obviously your 1 by c. So what I get here on solving, this will come here, so c is equal to your e minus 1, which is so called as value which is greater than 1, that is equal to the value which is greater than 1 but less than 2, right? So I will say here, कि instead of writing it like this, I will say here कि therefore c value is such which is greater than 1, because e is 2.718 around, minus 1 is equal to 1.718, so it is greater than 1 but less than 2, right? So this value which I got of c is greater than 1 but less than 2. So obviously it is well between the open interval of a and b, that is 1 and e. So therefore your c is belonging to the open interval of 1 and e. So obviously your LMVT is verified. So you are not able to see actually. So here your c is e minus 1, e being the value between 2 and 3. So subtraction of 1 means value becomes between 1 and 2, that is greater than 1 but less than 2. So c belongs to open interval of 1 is to e, therefore your LMVT is verified. Okay, so LMVT is verified over here. Now let us go to one of the question to understand it more better way. Now coming to this particular function, it is a polynomial function. We can even check in the same way as we did it for the previous part, but it is not required. You can very clearly see it is a polynomial function. So whichever function is in the form of polynomial, so it is continuous also and derivable also. So this particular two steps are saving your part. So you can write here, so better like this, write like this, कि function of x is a polynomial function. It is a polynomial function, hence it is continuous on the closed interval of minus 11 by 7 to 13 by 7. It's also differentiable. It's also differentiable. You can even check it taking left hand derivative, right hand derivative also. So you can check it also. It is also differentiable at so called as the open interval of minus 11 by 7 to 13 by 7. You can also do in this way, if you are not very sure about continuity, so you first check differentiability directly. Because if the function is differentiable, then it is always continuous. Right? So if you can check it here also. The differentiability becomes 2x minus 3, and 2x minus 3 is differentiable everywhere. Okay? You will get a graph which is always smooth. So 2x minus 3 is differentiable everywhere. So that is why it is continuous everywhere. Okay? So it is differentiable even at the open interval of minus 11 by 7 to 13 by 7. Right? Now it is differentiable also and continuous also. So I will just find so called as your derivative and keep it, because I will require it. So f dash x is your 2x minus 3. Right? Now what I will do is I will just find out these values and keep. Now the function of a is equal to your function of minus 11 by 7, which is nothing but minus 11 by 7 the whole square minus 3 into minus 11 by 7 minus 1, which will be, so on calculation I get this function of a to be as 303 by 49. You calculate it, you will come to know. Even I have used calculator, but you can do it by using your normal calculations. So function of b so is on solving 13 by 7 the whole square minus 3 into 13 by 7 minus 1. So on solving I get minus 153 by 49. Now I need to find b minus a. So your b minus a, b is your 13 by 7 plus 11 by 7. Minus is there, already minus is there. So it is 24 by 7, which in turn will become 168 by 49. So obviously I will be searching for point C by Lagrange's. It says that there is at least one C such that you will get f dash C is equal to function of b minus function of a upon b minus a. So I will have to find C. So here your f dash C must be equal to this particular value which we already found out. I am not writing the definition now here. 153 by 49 and divided by 168 by 49. So it will become 168 by 49. So finally it will turn out to be minus 153 by 168, and f dash C, you have found out f dash x already. So f dash C is your so called as 2c minus 3 is equal to minus 153 by 168. So on solving using, I will be using calculator, but you have to solve it manually. So on solving we get here, so on complete solving you can see here 2c minus 3, here 2x minus 3 is your f dash x. So 2c minus 3 is equal to minus 153 by 168. So obviously taking this 3 this side and solving I get here 351 by 168 2c ka value. So solving I get c ka value as 1.044, which is well between minus 11 by 7 and 13 by 7, because minus 11 by 7 is negative value and 0 after 0 is 13 by 7. So 13 by 7 is around so called as 2, very near to 2, and this value is less than 2, greater than 1. So it very well falls between minus 11 by 7 and 13 by 7. Okay, so it follows your LMVT, that is your LMVT is verified over here. Now let us come to one of the beautiful question which is asked already in so called as your IIT, that is IIT mains exams, screening exams. But the question is very nice. I have not written the whole question. It says function of x is x raised to alpha log x and the given value is function of 0 is equal to 0. Now you can see here ki if function of 0 is equal to 0, then where else I will get 0? Now if I can see here, because one point already is given 0, so I will search for one more point where I can get 0 na? So if it is there, so I will search for, now if I put here x as 1, so I think so I will get here 0, right? So I get here function of 0 is equal to 1, which is equal to function of 1. That means probably the Rolle's theorem is going to be applied between the closed interval 0 to 1. Okay. Now, if the Rolle's theorem is to be applied, then I know f dash c must belong to the interval of 0 to 1, agreed, such a way that f dash c must be 0 over there. So let me think on this pehle ki probably function of x is x raised to alpha log x on so called as closed interval of 0 to 1. Now I will be checking for this. I don't know exactly it is correct or not, but I will be checking for it. But I got it here both 0 in so called as function of 0 is 0. I have written here 1 by mistake. So here is 0. So now here I will take one thing. I will just find what is f dash x. So f dash x, this is product rule. So it is x raised to alpha into log x ka derivative, that is 1 by x, plus log x into d by dx of x raised to n, that is n x raised to n minus 1. So which actually turns out to be x raised to alpha minus 1 plus alpha log x into x raised to alpha minus 1, which is x raised to alpha minus 1 common 1 plus alpha log x. This is your f dash x. So your f dash c will become c raised to alpha minus 1 plus alpha log c, right? Now if Rolle's theorem is to hold true, so here your f dash c must be equal to 0, indicating c raised to alpha minus 1 into 1 plus alpha log c must be equal to 0. So obviously c raised to any power, whether it is positive or negative, nothing, because now the value is between 0 and 1. So it is going to be a positive value. So c raised to any power is going to be any number other than 0, that is will be a positive value only. Okay, so it will be greater than 0. So c raised to alpha minus 1 cannot be equal to 0. So here 1 plus alpha log c can be equal to 0, indicating your alpha log c is equal to minus 1, in which alpha is equal to minus 1 by log c. Okay, now let us think on it. Now the value of alpha will not be defined only in case of the values where log c is going to become 0. So log c is going to become 0 at 0 and 1. Log c is not defined already at 0, so there is no problem only, but log 1 is going to become 0. That means 0 and 1 will be dropped. Means I can see the value of alpha exists between 0 and 1. So therefore value of alpha which is there lies between so called as open interval of 0 and 1. Means alpha can be any value which is greater than 0 but less than 1. So therefore alpha is any value which is greater than 0 but less than 1 for Rolle's theorem to hold true over here. That is Rolle's theorem to be holding true or to be applicable. Nice it was. Very nice. Enjoyed, na? Let us go to other questions if they are. Now let us go to the next question. Here it says function of x is equal to log x to the base e on the closed interval 1, 3. It says that for this particular function and for this particular interval, conclusion for mean value theorem holds. When it is told mean value theorem, so always understand it is LMVT, not Rolle's theorem. Okay? Then what should be the value of C? Right? So obviously what I will do here, I know what to find pehle. So function of A is your function of 1, that is equal to log 1 to the base e, which is 0. Now function of B, which is equal to function of 3, that is equal to log 3 to the base e. Then I will find and keep what is function of B minus function of A, that is function of B minus function of A is log 3 to the base e. And what will be B minus A? B minus A is 3 minus 1, that is 2. So therefore by LMVT we have f dash C is equal to log of 3 to the base e upon 2. Right? So f dash C is nothing but f dash x is equal to 1 by x, which is nothing but 1 by c, is equal to log of 3 to the base e by 2, which becomes c is equal to 2 upon log of 3 to the base e. Then using the rules of logarithm, you get c is equal to 2 into log e to the base 3. Okay, so this is the value of c which is required. I hope you have understood. Some steps I have skipped. It is not required over here, so it is not written also. F dash c is nothing but f dash x, which is derivative of log x to the base e, that is equal to 1 by x, which becomes 1 by c, and the simple use of logarithmic rules. Okay, enjoying? Even Samir sir from SMG Group Tuition also is enjoying. Means even I am also enjoying. Okay, so now let me see if I can get 1 or 2 questions so that I can end up this session. Now come to one of the very interesting question. See the first line itself. It says कि function of x is twice differentiable function. Twice means it could be differentiated 2 times. Okay, means second derivative exists. Okay, now here it is told function of a is 0, function of b is 2, function of c is minus 1, function of d is 2, function of e is equal to 0, such that a is less than b, b is less than c, c is less than d, and d is less than e. That means a to e in ascending order. Then minimum number of zeros of g of x, means you have to find the minimum number of zeros of g of x, whereas g of x is defined as f dash x the whole square plus f double dash x into function of x between the closed interval of a and e. Now before you solve this question, I would tell you to pause it down, go back to my Rolle's theorem wala video in which I have taken algebraic meaning. Go to that, then you will understand this very nicely. Okay, now I am explaining you what is important. What is gx that I am seeing pehle? Gx is told as f dash x into f dash x. Agreed? Means it is multiplied, na? Plus f double dash x into function of x. Right? Means it looks something like this is f dash x and this is derivative of x. Okay? Means if I take this as first function, so keeping it as it is, and derivative of function of x plus function of x and the derivative of first function f double dash x, means it is nothing but product rule of d by dx of so called as f dash x into function of x. So you can recheck it again if you want. Derivative is first function into derivative of second function f dash x plus second function into derivative of first function, that is f double dash x. Okay, so you need to know actually how many zeros are present in function of x and f dash x. Zeros means the values for the variable where the given polynomial becomes 0, that is satisfies, in short it satisfies. So already I can very clearly see over here that, see this, function of a already is 0 and function of e is 0, that means two zeros are already present over here. I am using my logical brain, I am not going by technical knowledge. Mathematical I am not going, I am using logical brain. Now you can see here function of b value is 2 and function of c value is -1. That means the function of b value is as at higher level and it has gone to -1, that means it has crossed the axis, right? Means you get 1 0 over there. Similarly, function of d and function of c which is there also it is -1, that means below axis, and it crosses and goes above, that means again there is 1 0. So I have 4 zeros at least, means at least, that is function of x has 4 zeros at least, I mean to say at least, between so called as your closed interval of a to e. Okay, so if function of x has 4 zeros, then you go to my that video will come to know that f dash x will at least have 3 zeros, right? And same between so called as your a and e. Okay, so obviously your f dash x into fx will have 4 plus 3, minimum 7 zeros, that is at least 7 zeros, right? Now what is your gx? Gx is actually d by dx of your f dash x and fx, right? So if it is d by dx of f dash x and fx, so minimum number of zeros in gx, minimum number of zeros in g of x is obviously 7 is there, that means 6. Go to that particular video, you will understand it very nicely. This is very nice question. I love this question very much. I hope you also liked it. Be with Samir sir always, you will understand it very nicely. Till lockdown is there, I hope you are studying, making use of complete potential and complete time you are having. Do not waste this time. Stay at home, stay safe, be healthy, take care. Goodbye and thank you.